Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Wrestling Unlimited as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite. And I thought this was kind of like an up and down show for me as far as like some things were cool, some things were good, some things were kind of boring, some things were kind of meh, and then it was like, why is this happening? But hey, it happens. It shouldn't happen this close to a big pay-per-view. Their biggest pay-per-view they've ever had and what they're calling the biggest wrestling show in the history of wrestling. But yeah, we should be doing a lot more to keep us interested instead of just like, oh, hey, tune in next week. We'll have a Kenny Omega update. Oh, yeah, tune in next week. MJF and Adam Cole are going to talk about their main event. So it's like, I don't know. A lot of tune in next week. Jericho will tell Don Callis what he's going to do. Too much of that, I thought, tonight. Too much of tune in next week to learn stuff. And why didn't we just learn more stuff tonight? That's the whole thing. But regardless, how many weeks do we have left to All In? There's two more Dynamites and three Rampages and 3 Collisions. So that's going to be interesting to see how they build this up. Because remember, this is going to be a big show. I assume it's 4 hours long at least. There's only 3 matches so far announced. 3. That's it. Now, they're teasing heavy Samoa Joe and CM Punk. Whatever they're going to do with the trios titles. They got the TNT. Well, no. I don't even think the TNT title is going to be defended because it's going to be defended against Darby the next week at All Out. But we do have the TBS title. So, I mean, I assume Jungle Boy or Jack Perry will be on the show, maybe with the FTW title. But I don't know. A lot of still like questions. There's the rumored Jericho Will Ospreay match. Then there's a rumor that it's going to be the BCC taking on Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston, and a mystery partner. Like, who the heck could the mystery partner be? I don't know. Again, still so many questions and so little time. But Luke, what did you think of tonight's Dynamite?
Honestly, I kind of got bored through this show, to be completely honest with you.
What was that Swerve segment?
That Swerve segment sucked.
The crowd
so much.
didn't even. The crowd hated the segment so much that they barely made a reaction when Darby came out. And Darby always gets a pop. That's when you know, oh shit, this ain't working.
Really, the only thing that I thought was productive through the show was announcing like FTR versus the Young Bucks. Other than that, like, I kind of got bored through the show.
I mean, they announced the women's four-way, which I got some thoughts on that when we get to it. And
I got confused as hell when they announced that because the whole Hikaru Shida thing, they didn't even say that the title was going to be on the line.
Well, here's the thing. That right there made me feel like that this whole tournament was so last minute that it was probably thought of during the day after they already said Shida and Anna Jay for the title. Like, they probably already announced Shida and Anna Jay days ago. Like, they announced that days ago. And then probably like today or yesterday, they were like, oh, let's do this for the women's title at All In. Like, it just, we'll talk about it when we get to it. It's one of the things that I wanted to note. It just feels so last minute. Just so like a last minute decision kind of thing. And it's like, we need to announce it now. But I don't know. With that, I want to say thank you guys for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff of 4 games. Then you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, head over to YouTube, hit that join button, and become a channel member. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Heck, you got some kids? I bet you they'll like Goat Simulator 3. My kids would love that game, and it's on sale right now on the Epic Game Store for only $17.99. Also, go claim the free games because they're only free till the end of the day. Bloons TD6. Haven't played it, heard it's fun? Loop Hero. Loop Hero is great. Claim it on the Epic Game Store. And when you do, use our code PWUNLIMITED at checkout, and you, again, will be supporting us, and there's no extra cost to you when you do so. Also, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, they're coming to Fortnite soon. And remember, when you get them in Fortnite, once they do come to Fortnite, use our code. Whether you're on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Nintendo Switch, PC, or your mobile device. But with that, we've got AEW Dynamite to get into and talk about and recap, where the show comes on the air and the members of the JAS are already in the ring. Matt Menard then introduces their leader, and he says, our leader, Chris Jericho. Everyone is wearing black except Jericho, which is kind of interesting here. And so Jericho tries to explain himself, and Daniel Garcia immediately cuts him off and goes, hey, I'm tired of you just talking. How about you listen to what we have to say? He said that he chose Jericho before anyone else and questions why Jericho would not do the same for them. Garcia then basically said, I'm done, thrusted in Jericho's face, and walked off. That's basically his way of giving the middle finger, flipping the bird without actually flipping the bird. He walked off. He even shoved the camera in the aisle, and there we go. Jake Hager was next.
Are you tired of him doing the thrust?
It's whatever. I mean, it's cute. It's silly. I don't know. I really don't care either way. Are you?
I mean, it's cool if you're a comedy character, but...
Right, and that's what he's supposed to be, I think.
But at the same time, I have feelings that they're still trying to make him like a big star at the same time. But
True.
At the same time, how can you really... At the same time, it's like, how can you really get fans to take him seriously if he keeps trying to do like comedy stuff?
Now, I get that. Yet, when he does the dance and the thrusting, the crowd does pop 95% of the time. So, don't change what's currently working, I guess.
If it ain't, if it's gold, don't change it or something.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. So Jake Hager's next. He gets on the mic and says something about, I liked that hat. Commentary says, oh, you hear the past tense there? He says that he's known Jericho longer than anybody else in this group, and Jericho has helped him make a lot of money. But right now, not time for the JAS. It's time for him to walk away. Next is Anna Jay. No, Ty Conti. Ty Conti was next. Ty Conti says she used to be proud to be in the JAS, but no longer she is. She says she feels sick, and not because she's pregnant. She says that once I have my baby, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to win a title, but I'm going to do it without you. I quit. She doesn't leave yet. She stays in the ring, waits for Anna Jay. Anna Jay then says that Jericho's being selfish, that tonight is not about the JAS for her. It's about her trying to win the AEW Women's World Championship. And right now, she needs to focus on herself. She quits as well. So her and Ty Conti leave the ring. Ty Conti's husband stays, though. Sammy Guevara stays there. Angelo Parker then says, hey, I hate to do this. I love being a sports entertainer. But right now, I'm not proud of what we're doing. I'm not proud to be part of the JAS. He's like, yeah, I've done so much for you, even hanging upside down in the blood and guts match and almost bleeding out last year. And for what? What have you given me after I've given so much to you? Parker said that he has nothing left to give, and he walks out. Matt Menard then steps up, says that Jericho was his childhood hero. When he was 15 years old, he got his first job, and with his first paycheck, he bought a Chris Jericho shirt. He said when his wife was 8 months pregnant, Jericho heard his story and helped him get into AEW. Menard mentioned guys like Eddie Kingston and Kevin Steen, and basically said, yeah, now I know why Kevin Steen got sick of you. I'm like, oh, damn. We're going back 2016. The freaking what was it called? The Festival of Friendship. Ooh, boy. He said something about I now understand why they hate your guts. And he walks off as well, leaving one man left, Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara is wearing a inner circle vest. He gets on the mic and he immediately slaps the mic out of Jericho's hands because Jericho was trying to talk. He told Jericho he needs to listen. Guevara said that I put Sting through a table, even when I didn't want to, because I've been loyal to you. I've done what you have asked me to do. And don't take this as me, like them, walking out on you. Deep down, we're the same. And I know you have a lot of things to think about and work through. When you do work through all that and you're ready to be with us and be with me and whatnot, I may still be here. He then leaves through the crowd. The segment ends with Jericho standing in the ring alone, never getting to plead his case. His friends, his appreciation society, walking out and leaving him all by himself. And I was like, this was all right. But to open the show, I mean, I'm glad it opened the show and we got it out of the way because it was kind of redundant. They're all just like, you don't appreciate me, so I don't appreciate you anymore. Bye. You don't appreciate it. It's like they all just said the same thing in like different words. So it's kind of just meh. What did you think?
I mean, it felt like each of them kind of like copy and pasted their own like someone else's like line. They said, all right, I'll just say the exact same thing if I'm going to leave. Like, it didn't really feel like original, if that makes sense.
No, I get that. I the best part of it was Matt Menard mentioning Kevin Steen. That popped me because I was like, oh, we're going back 2016. He's like,
I like how he said Kevin Steen. It's his way of trying not to say like Kevin Owens.
Well, yeah, legally they can't say Kevin Owens, but you could say Kevin Steen. I think the Bucks have referenced Kevin Steen on television before. But it was all right, but it wasn't a great opening segment. It was just all right. Then we get more Jericho. Renee Paquette tried to get a word with Jericho backstage, but Don Callis would appear. He apologized and said, hey, I saw what happened out there, and if any of that's my fault, I do apologize. Jericho then said, you know what? As far as me joining your family, I do have an answer. But I'll give you that answer next week. Don's like, oh, great. I'll set everything up. I'll make everything, get everything ready, and we'll talk next week. Don leaves a happy man. So he thinks. For all we know, Jericho tells him no. We don't know. I'm still under the impression that's how we get Jericho and Ospreay. Jericho tells Don no. Don says no one tells me no. And then he's like, you know what? You don't want to be with me? You're against me. And I have someone that'll fight you for me and something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's how we get Jericho and Ospreay. You think Jericho?
I just don't like the part. Where Jericho said, I have an answer for you, but I'll give it to you next week. I'm like, really, if you had the answer, just say it.
But I mean, I wish they would have just done it tonight. Like, I wish Jericho would have phrased it differently. Like, I'm still on the fence. Give me a week. I'll give you my answer. But for them to be like, he's like, I know my answer, but I'll tell you next week. That's kind of just like, oh, you're going to make us wait. But if he would have said, I'm still on the fence, I'm not sure, but I'll make my decision in a week, that would have been a little better way to do it. In my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I agree with you. They should have worded it that way instead of like the way they did.
Yeah, because there was a few times tonight where they were like, we're gonna do this and this, but you'll know next week about that. I'm like, okay. But what did happen tonight were the Young Bucks against the Hardys, and this match was just there. I don't think there was one real big spot in this match. I don't think there was one real notable moment in this match other than, hey, Ethan Page is still with them on the outside. I forgot all about that.
I forgot Ethan Page, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because they did the whole thing where Matt Hardy won his contract, so Matt Hardy still got him under contract. You know me. I hate that shit where they do the whole, I own your contract, you got to do what I say and help me, so I don't know.
Really what they should have done with that is like, I have your contract, but I'm going to do you a favor and like set you free.
I I mean, Matt wanted his. Here's the thing: the firm owned Matt's contract, and they made Matt's life hell. So then Matt wanted to repay that and do the same to Ethan Page, but they haven't. They've done nothing with it. So it's like, whatever. I could care less. As far as the match itself does go, the Hardys were able to get control early. And they did some double team moves and sent Nick to the floor before hitting a double wheelbarrow suplex on Matt for a near fall. There was a pulling sit-out powerbomb in the corner that led to a double team cover on Matt. And for some reason, Rick Knox counted, but Nick broke up the pin. The Hardys then tried poetry in motion, but Matt moved, and Nick popped Jeff with a corner enziguri. Nick then made the tag and ran wild with a slingshot facebuster and a moonsault to the floor before laying out Matt Hardy with a rising risky business. Matt then faked a dive, and it was Nick that hit a twisting plancha to wipe out the Hardys on the floor, leading to a commercial break. After the break, there was some back and forth action, with Nick avoiding a twist of fate, but Matt Hardy adjusted and spiked Nick with a DDT right as Jeff was about to make the tag. Matt Jackson pulled the leg out, and the Bucks kept Matt briefly isolated before a double clothesline led to a reset. Both Matt Hardy and Matt Jackson started slugging it out until Matt Jackson ran into a side effect. Nick and Jeff then made tags and went after it for a little while. Jeff fought off both Bucks at one point and wiped them out with a whisper in the wind, but Nick and Matt avoided a double twist of fate into super kicks, and boom, right into a 3D on Jeff. The Hardys avoided a Meltzer driver and hit dueling twist of fates as Jeff hit a swanton on Nick for a close near fall that was broken up by Matt Jackson. After all that, Matt Hardy made the legal tag as Nick was dropped with multiple twist of fates, but Matt Jackson was able to super kick the leg out from under Jeff, who was going for the whisper in the wind. Matt Jackson then hit the backslide on Matt Hardy and rolled through. The Bucks hit the BTE trigger and picked up the win. I will say, this is one of Jeff Hardy's better AEW matches. He looked solid. Everybody looked solid in this match, but it was just like a match, nothing special. But again, one of Jeff's better looking performances in AEW. What'd you think?
I mean, I didn't really care about the match a lot, but I get why they did this match, because they're supposed to like make the Young Bucks look like, oh, they beat like a group of legends in like Jeff and Matt just to make them look good going up against FTR at All In. Like, I get that, but I don't know. It was a better performance for Jeff, but I don't know. I think overall the match was just there.
Well, speaking of FTR, Matt and Nick Jackson would stay in the ring as the Hardys leave. Nick Jackson would grab a mic and yell, FTR. That would lead to, well, FTR coming down to the ring. The four men would get in each other's faces. Nick would then said, all in. And the challenge was made or accepted. And with that, we have our second match announced for the pay-per-view. It will be FTR defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks. And this is going to be the third match that these two teams meet in AEW. What do you think of the match itself for the pay-per-view?
So I believe FTR won the first match, correct?
Believe so, yes.
And the Young Bucks won the second one. So basically this is just like winner take, like best 2 out of 3 series for like in the years making.
I believe so. I'm looking it up right now. Let me see. Would it be? I think I got it here. Let's see. Why is it not giving me results? It's telling me that Dave Meltzer gave this match 4 3/4 stars, but it doesn't tell me who won. What the frick? Maybe it'll tell me here. Here we go. No. Okay, here we go. So, with the ROH and AAA tag titles on the line, FTR did defeat the Young Bucks. And then, at Full Gear 2020, the Young Bucks retained the AEW World Tag Team Championships against FTR. So it was, what's the date on this one? Young Bucks won the first one with the AEW tag titles on the line. FTR won the second one with the ROH and AAA tag titles on the line. So that's how it went.
I feel like FTR should win this match, though, because I feel like at All Out, they probably want to do something big with them and CM Punk.
So, okay, speaking of them, do they win the trios titles on Saturday with Punk? I don't think they do.
I think they shouldn't, but I kind of feel like they might.
Because, I mean, if they do, they already have a match for Wembley. Then that just locks up the trios titles. And then what do you do with the trios titles at Wembley? Nothing. So I think they should lose to the House of Black and go from there. Also, speaking of House of Black, congratulations to Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley, who are engaged as of tonight. So all those guys on Twitter saying, I may have one day have a shot with Rhea. Nope. Old Dom Dom don't even have a real shot with Rhea because she's got herself another man.
Dominic's probably punching air right now.
I wonder, I don't think they will, but I wonder if it ever gets brought up on WWE television. I doubt it.
Well, legally, I don't know if they can, though.
They could say, no, they don't have to say his name or anything. They can just, someone can make a slide, like Judgment Day can be in the ring going back and forth with, like, I don't know, Seth Rollins, and then, like, Dom can call her mommy and go, you're still calling her mommy even though she's getting married to another guy? Like, I can maybe see, like, a Seth Rollins throwing something out. Like, oh, you still call her mommy even though she's got another man she's going to marry?
Or Seth can be like, you're still calling her mommy when she's currently engaged to one of my former disciples.
Right. That would actually
like,
that would be a real funny way to phrase it, too. Because then you don't have to say the name, but it, like, links it to Seth. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Because, like, Buddy Matthews, he was one of Seth's former disciples when he was at, like, Messiah gimmick.
Very true. So as we move forward, we see footage of Hikaru Shida winning the AEW Women's World Championship, and then they tell us there's going to be a little mini tournament to crown, or actually not to crown, to figure out who is going to be in the actual title match at Wembley. It's going to be a fatal four-way, and let me pull up this graphic here on the screen. We're going to get a fatal four-way. I put it in a different folder. Give me 1 second. I'm saying it all wrong. There's going to be a fatal four-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship at All In Wembley. And here is what we've got. So we know that this one is Hikaru Shida wins. She advances. She won, of course. Saraya versus Sky Blue will take place on Friday. Winner advances. The Bunny, who's been out of action for quite some time, will take on Britt Baker next week. Winner advances to All In, and Toni Storm automatically gets a bye. They stated that Toni Storm gets a bye because this is her quote-unquote rematch from losing the title last week, which kind of really sucks for Toni Storm that she ain't getting a one-on-one rematch. But at least she's getting some sort of a rematch. Now, I know Luke was confused. A couple other people were confused. Why does Shida have to earn to be in this match? Again, that's why I think it was a last-minute decision kind of thing today to announce this after they had already announced Shida versus Anna Jay. Because if they would have so they could have done a couple of things. Just done it how they did. Or they could have just did 2 matches and been like, hey, we're not doing a mini tournament, because they kind of called it a tournament on air. They shouldn't have called it a tournament. They should have just said, we're going to do a 4-way. Toni Storm and either Hikaru Shida or Anna Jay are in this match, the champion, whoever comes out tonight. And then the other 2 matches, they could have announced it differently to not confuse as many people, but regardless, what I wish they would have said, because they said the reason this is a 4-way is because it's been somewhat of a tradition on major shows for the AEW Women's Championship to be defended in 4-way matches. Which I go, okay, cool. But would have been a better way to make a 4-way make sense here All they had to say was, hey, remember the first All In? The only women's match on that show was a 4-way. This is paying homage to that. Another 4-way here at All In, and maybe that's the tradition going forward. Every All In pay-per-view, the women's world title is defended in a fatal 4-way. That's all they had to say. Because if you remember, that first All In was Chelsea Green, Britt Baker, Tessa Blanchard, and who was the fourth? Frick, who was
Madison Rayne.
Madison Rayne, you're right. Gotcha. So, yeah, I think they should have done it like that and been like, that's why we're doing this, and that's why we're now calling it tradition. The All-In tradition for the women's title. What are your thoughts on the women's title match, and who do you think is going to be the 4 or the 2 that make it in? Because we know 2 of the 4 already.
I mean, is it not obvious to everyone, though? It's going to be Britt Baker and Saraya being the other 2.
You don't think Sky Blue has a chance?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
Well, here's what's going to happen. They're probably going to have Saraya win the belt because Tony Khan, he loves doing those hometown wins, so he's going to do this, just get a big pop from the crowd.
Oh, Saraya's pinning Sheeta.
Oh, yeah.
I can see it right now. Saraya pins Sheeta. Not Tony, not Britt.
Or she could pin Britt, and then Sheeta can be like, I never got pinned, so I deserve a rematch.
Well, no. We know based off of Tony Storm getting a rematch here, she doesn't have. It doesn't matter. She gets an automatic rematch regardless. What if, and this probably will not happen, Tony Storm gets knocked out, Saraya takes out the other 2 or 1 or whatever, and they're out of the ring, and it's just Tony laid out in the middle of the ring, and the only way for Saraya to win is to pin Tony Storm. I doubt they do that, but that'd be an interesting move.
No, they won't.
That'd be an interesting one.
They won't.
So last week, Adam Cole and MJF were shown celebrating their announcement of the main event at All In, as Cole has brought MJF to a trampoline park. He was like, hey, let's hang out. Let's celebrate us being in the main event. And MJF was like, what do you want to do? He's like, trampoline park. And MJF's like, what? We could have been in a bar, hanging out, trying to hit on chicks and stuff. But instead, we're here? Doing what? And Cole's like, this place is so cool. It's fun. It's got video games. It's got ball pits. It's got this and that and da-da-da. And it's even got dodgeball. And MJF's like, wait, dodgeball? All right, I'm in. So MJF starts throwing dodgeballs at all these kids, being MJF, throwing insults at him. Like, hey, I slept with your mom and this and that and all this other stuff. And Adam Cole's like, whoa, hey, what are you doing? You can't be just throwing these balls at these little kids like that. You gotta calm down a little bit. And this little girl walks up. She's like, what are you, 2 grown men, doing here at a trampoline park? And Adam Cole tries to say something to her, and she flips him off. Adam Cole gets pissed off, and he tells MJF when she goes to walk away, all right, yeah, throw one more. And the screen goes black, and we're supposed to think that he pelted the kid in the back of the head, the little girl. It was funny. It was just there, though. Nothing special.
I thought the MJF insults were hilarious.
Yeah, I thought they were funny, too. And
I've honestly never been to a trampoline park, so I don't really know how fun it is.
they're fun. I take the kids every couple of months. Now,
It's basically just another Sky Zone.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, we have Sky Zone here. So, now my question. Have you ever seen Billy Madison? Adam Sandler.
Who hasn't?
Okay.
Who hasn't?
So this is basically the scene when they go to recess in kindergarten when he's just pelting all the kids with the damn dodgeball. That's exactly
now
what this was.
Now you're all in big, big trouble.
Right? I love that movie. Adam Sandler's like my favorite actor, so of course I thought of that immediately. We go backstage with the Blackpool Combat Club. They said that they hope best friends learn their lesson from the parking lot fight. Moxley also says, I hope Sue got the flowers I sent her. I'm sorry for what I did. He said tonight they picked the bones of the Lucha Bros. They already hurt Pac. They already put Pac on the shelf. Now they're gonna do the same thing to the other 2. And then talk trash and said that it sucks that Pac won't be able to work All In. I guess that's a big deal over there for him to be on that show, but he's not anymore. And da da da. BCC then said that they don't fear death. Death fears them. We then had Jack Perry versus Rob Van Dam. Match was good. I enjoyed it. Now, I know you were skeptical of RVD and the 52-year-old last week, so I just want to ask you right off the jump, did he exceed your expectations, or was he, what'd you think?
I mean, he was better than what I expected. I will say that.
Leaping leg drop off the apron to the barricade.
Right?
So, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. It was FTW rules.
Well, the reason why
Go for it.
I was like hesitant about this because when he was in Impact for that second time, he kind of struggled a little bit in the ring for like a lot of the time, but that's why I was a little hesitant about it.
Yeah, but we also know that he really didn't care during that second Impact run. I mean, he was just getting blowjobs on camera by his wife and some other chick that got him kicked off of Twitch for a little while.
Yeah, I remember that. That was hilarious.
So, but this match itself was FTW rules, which means there's no rules. Falls count anywhere. And what I liked from Jack Perry, he was wearing basically Jerry Lynn inspired tights. I thought that was really cool. He did attack RVD during his intro, where RVD fought back and got his leg drop roll up for a quick 2 count early on. Perry retreated and wanted a handshake, but RVD was having none of it. Was about to hit the Rolling Thunder when Perry bailed to the outside. On the floor, RVD draped Perry over the barricade. And correct me if I'm wrong, was there a lighting issue here where the lights were like flickering or something? When RVD was about to go for the... Because I noticed like it got dark for a second. And then like the lights turned blue. And then they went back on. Maybe that was just me.
I mean, I didn't see it. My TV was like buffering during that match, so I probably didn't see it.
Gotcha. Because I saw something where like the lights went low, then everything seemed like there was like a blue light on, and then the regular lights came back or something. So I don't know exactly. Maybe we'll see. I'll look it up here in a little bit. RVD went and hit the spinning leg drop off the apron onto the barricade, onto Jack Perry as we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Perry was in control, but he missed a Rolling Thunder. A chair was stuck in the corner, and a table was set up on the floor as RVD hit a huge monkey flip and a running drop kick with the chair in the corner. With the chair on Perry, RVD finally does hit the Rolling Thunder, but Perry avoided a split-legged moonsault. RVD did mess up on here when he tried to leap to the top rope. He didn't fully get up there at first. Then he got up there, hit the split-legged moonsault, was good to go. Perry ducked the Van Daminator, and Perry chucked a chair right at referee Bryce. Perry then cut off RVD in the corner, but was launched off the top through the table on the outside. RVD then rolled Perry back inside the ring, hit a 5-star frog splash, got the visible pin. Aubrey was run down because the regular ref was knocked out. 1, 2, Jack kicks out. RVD then argues with the referee. She's like, nope, that was 2. This slight distraction of RVD here arguing with ref then allows Perry to hit a low blow. He sent RVD into the chair that was in the corner, rolls him up, and pins him to remain the not AEW, but the FTW champion. So yeah, it was a good match for what it was. RVD got to do all his major things, and Jack Perry's still the champion. Then afterwards, Taz basically said, you know, I'm disgusted in this. I'm disgusted in seeing him with the FTW title. Maybe I'm going to need to do something. I doubt Taz wrestles, but what does Taz himself need to do?
What if they bring in like another ECW legend, like a Tommy Dreamer?
Yeah, that I can see. Ooh. Maybe. I don't know if Tommy's still working for Impact or not. But I'm pulling up that clip to see. Okay. So I can't really like play the clip, but I can like do it in screenshots. But look. So if you look right here, the lights are dimmed. And as we go forward, I think this is, so you see like a blue light shining in the ring kind of over here, and the lights are dimmed. And then right here, all of a sudden, the lights come back on. If you look at the mat, you see the lights fade from off to back on. That's weird. And it's not like they had a big spotlight on these two or something on the outside. So, I don't know.
I'm sure it was probably a lighting issue.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't going crazy. Yeah, and Trap in the chat says the lights did go blue for a second. Okay. He saw it too. Well, we all saw it right there. So, Renee Paquette is backstage with the Lucha Bros and Alex Abrahantes, who said the Lucha Bros fight in the spirit of competition, but the BCC fight to hurt people like they did Pac. Phoenix and Pentagon said that they'll show Moxley and Claudio why they're the best team in the universe. This then led to MJF and Adam Cole. And boy, am I so not interested in them going for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Like, are you freaking kidding me? What? They're going to fight for the Ring of Honor tag titles? How dumb is that?
Well, it makes sense, but also doesn't make sense at the same time.
They already lost.
Like it's a little bit of both, though.
In AEW, the AEW World Tag Team Champions are supposed to be considered the greatest tag team currently in the world. They couldn't beat that team in FTR, so we're supposed to think them going for basically AEW's secondary title, the version of AEW's NXT, we're supposed to think that that matters, that that's a big deal, that them winning those titles means anything. People already don't really care that Claudio's got the ROH title. So why would we care that they're getting the tag titles? Like, I don't. Do you? There's no way they lose.
Not really, no. But like, they're trying to make it seem important because Adam Cole was like well known in Ring of Honor, but MJF never worked a day in Ring of Honor in his life.
Adam Cole is the only person to ever hold the Ring of Honor championship 3 times. That is something he's got. But also, it's a pre-show match. Now, I get why it's a pre-show match. They need time to rest up before their main event. But then have it open the main card. Again, you're just making this seem less and less important and insignificant. It's the Ring of Honor tag team titles. It's on the 0 hour, the pre-show. Like, who the F cares? I don't. As far as this segment does go, MJF welcomes the fans to the Midwest and says, hey, I know there's footage out there of me saying that the Midwest is mid. That's all doctored. I love the Midwest. The Midwest is my favorite place in the U.S. And they pop big going. And I'm going, man, these guys are dumb. Pop for him saying that. This guy loves Jersey or wherever he's, Long Island. Cole mentions making history at All In. He says, when I beat you for the title. And MJF kind of gives him a look and was like, you're what? But MJF says, you know what? We need to do something about, building up that match and what we're going to do it All In. And MJF goes, oh, you want a promo battle? Well, let's go. You're a skinny white guy. You're so white that in the 80s, Hulk Hogan would have snorted you. But if you looked at both men tonight, Cole had the better tan of the two. I like the line, though. I thought that was funny. You're so white that Hogan would have snorted you. MJF calls him a noodle arm, a bobblehead. And then Adam Cole goes, whoa, 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 Max! I don't want a promo battle. I have an idea. You just misread the situation. He's like, whoa. Whoopsie. Colvin says that everyone loves them as a tag team, and everybody wanted them to win tag team gold. And well, there are some other titles that they can still win. And that's the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. And he wants to challenge for those titles with MJF on the 0 hour of All In. He said that he's done great things in ROH, like being the only 3-time ROH World Champion. And those titles have been held by great men, like the Kings of Wrestling, Red Dragon, and Mark and Jay, the Briscoes. So MJF was like, whoa, you want me to work twice in one night? I get mad when people ask me to work multiple times in a year. You think I really want to work twice in one night? He's like, if anybody were to ask me that, of course I'd say no. But you're my brochacho, and I'm a sucker for a cheap pop because I'm a scumbag. I'm not just a scumbag, I'm their scumbag. So Aussie Open, we officially challenge you for the ROH Tag Team titles at the All-In 0 Hour. And then we hear, Adam. And it's like, what the fuck does Roderick Strong want? What does Roddy want? And Adam Cole's looking around. MJF's looking around. And finally, Roderick Strong walks out on stage. Roderick Strong comes out, insulted that Cole would want to challenge for those tag titles with MJF and not one of his best friends. Roderick Strong, another ROH legend. MJF then ripped into Strong with some Taylor Swift references and whatnot. And I have a tweet here I didn't write down everything. Excuse me, MJF actually said, but there's a tweet I have here. MJF stated, I want you to get in your car. I want you to go home. And in between all of these, he's letting the crowd do a what chant or whatever. He's like, I want you to run up the stairs. I want you to slam the door to your room. I want you to jump into your bed. I want you to cry into your Hello Kitty pillow. I want you to put your headphones on. I want you to listen to some Taylor Swift. And I want you to shake it off, you bland bitch. And so Roddy gets mad. And the crowd's like, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. And I'm like, oh, I thought they'd be chanting bland bitch, but they're not. Roddy then goes, really, Adam? You're going to let him talk to me like that? The kingdom was right. You don't care about your friends. And so the kingdom comes out. They console Roderick Strong. Then Adam Cole gets in MJF's face. He's like, hey, what the hell was that? You're my friend, but he's also my friend. And I'm not going to let you talk to him. And he starts poking MJF, and MJF gets the face. He's shaking the head a little bit. And Adam goes, whoa, sorry. I didn't mean to do that and whatnot and that. And Adam Cole basically looks like the dude trying to hook up with a chick, but then says the wrong thing that pisses off the chick and then backtracks to be like, oh, no, I didn't mean that. Sorry to offend you. No, I still want to go home with you. Like, exactly what I thought. MJF's the guy in the bar that says one thing wrong to the girl he's trying to hook up with and then backtracks and apologizes to not piss off the girl. So, yeah. Doing something. I think we're eventually maybe going to get MJF versus Roderick Strong. And then whose side does Adam Cole pick? I don't know. I have no clue where this is going at all.
Match next week.
But not if he's still got the neck brace on.
Jonathan in the YouTube chat says, what if MJF turns on Adam Cole during the 0 hour?
I could see it.
I wouldn't do that. I honestly wouldn't.
No, I could see it, but I think they're going to win the tag titles. Here's an issue. Here's an issue with them working twice on the show. What if one of them somehow gets hurt? And then, knock on wood, not trying to put this into the ether, but I am. What if something happens and one of them gets actually injured during that 0 hour match to the point where they can't work the main event? Like if it was anybody else, like just any other random match, whatever. But this is your main event. You're billing this as the main event of All In, and you're risking the biscuit here.
Honestly, they're trying way too hard with this, if I'm being completely honest.
A little bit. Because, like, I don't think it was supposed to go past, they lose to the tag titles, that's it. But it got over so big, they're trying to stretch this son of a bitch out so long.
Like, they're really trying to be, like, too fancy with it, where they're actually, like, putting some wrestlers at risk here to get injured.
I mean, I doubt
the whole show can be, like, a huge failure.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I doubt someone gets hurt, but there's always that risk. I mean, we've seen plenty of people get hurt doing just nothing. Hell, I say it all the time. Kevin Nash tore his quad walking. He was literally walking back to his corner to tag out of a 6-man tag on Raw, or maybe an 8-man tag, something like that, and tore his quad walking back to his corner. So anything can happen.
I assume they're gonna make this like a super safe match to where they're gonna try to get no one injured.
True, but it's also Aussie Open, and they're going to want to get their stuff in. So
Oh
maybe
yeah.
maybe they do all the big moves, and Adam Cole and MJF keep it safe. I mean, hell, Brian Alvarez tells the story that he blew his knee out. I think it was his knee. Blew his knee out, taking a snake eyes. Literally, your head's getting dropped on the top rope, and his knee's the thing that got hurt. Anyways, time for the BCC versus the Lucha Bros. Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli against Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fenix. And here's my question. Why don't more people that wrestle masked wrestlers just rip the mask off? Because that's an automatic win. Because literally, they ripped Pentagon's mask off, and he just froze. Didn't do nothing. Didn't try to fight back. Didn't try to kick out. He just literally covered his face and froze. But now it's
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but at the same time, I don't think so a lot of luchadors want to do that because they don't want
Right.
to risk like having their face out there.
No, I get it. But it also makes them look super stupid. Like, oh, my face, I can't do nothing now. Like, come on.
I mean, unless they have like face paint like covering like most of their face though behind the mask, like Pentagon. I mean, yeah, it would be fine, but
Right.
like I'm sure a lot of them they just don't want to risk their like mask coming off like that.
So Phoenix and Penta snuck up from behind and wiped out Moxley and Claudio with double dives to gain control right at the opening bell. Penta delivered a top rope double stomp to Claudio while Moxley was flattened by another Phoenix dive, which, to the surprise of no one, busted Mox open. Of course this man's bleeding, because this man didn't bleed in the triple threat, so he's got to bleed here. Penta connected with the maiden Penta, but Claudio kicked out at 2. Claudio then ducked a double super kick from the Lucha Bros, and then they collided into each other. Moxley made the tag and dropped both with double DDTs. Penta spun out of a Death Rider into a sling blade as Claudio was backed up by the referee. Aubrey Edwards into the ropes. With her distracted, this allowed Yuta to pop Phoenix in the head with the ROH title. There was then a press slam into a cutter that led to Phoenix being isolated during a commercial break. Back from said break, Phoenix was planted with a spike pile driver, and Taz literally said, "Spike pile driver, that's how I broke my neck." There was a Doomsday Device spot. Moxley missed the clothesline, and Phoenix hit a roll-up double stomp on Claudio. Penta then ran wild of a hot tag with the Cazadora facebuster on Moxley and a backstabber on Claudio. Phoenix then made the tag, and the match broke down before Moxley laid out Penta with a cutter. Phoenix then kicked up into a huge super kick before all 4 men went down. Phoenix and Claudio then had a strike battle that led to another comeback from Phoenix as Penta leapt off the top rope and was hit with an uppercut in midair. We then go to the closing of this match where it was Penta and Moxley, and they were chopping each other. Then right in front of the referee, like she's watching all of this, Yuta grabbed Phoenix right off the top rope. Like, what? Alex Abrahantes then starts going crazy and grabbing Yuta and whatnot, only for Yuta to get hit with a moonsault from Phoenix. Penta then went for the fear factor. Claudio ripped his mask off. He then covered his face, froze basically. Moxley rolled him up, grabbed the tights, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. After the match, the BCC beat down both men. Claudio puts on Penta's mask, and then Moxley screams, "Zero respect! This is what happens when there's zero respect." No one came out to make the save. They didn't tease anything for the BCC at All In. Nothing. What the frick? What'd you think of the match and the beat down afterwards?
I mean, the overall match was decent. But it was like after the match, it didn't really lead to anything, honestly, other than
No.
like them attacking the Lucha Bros, and they didn't say anything.
I thought maybe Orange Cassidy runs out, makes a save. We get the best friends or something. Nobody. Nothing. Nada. We still don't know what these fools are doing at the pay-per-view. And
I honestly thought somebody was going to come out and make
So
the
did
save,
I.
but nobody came out and made the save.
And here's the other bad thing. They're now finally building up to All In and actually announcing things like this next segment. Kenny Omega tells Alex Marvez that he's going to have a sit-down interview next week with Jim Ross. He's going to talk about his future, Don Callis, Konosuke Takeshita, and his plans for All In. Okay, cool. Build up All In. But you still got another pay-per-view the next week we're not building anything for other than Darby Allin challenging for the TNT title. I still think we're getting at All In. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to the next segment. But we've got All In. But then what about All Out? Are they really going to just announce a bunch of stuff during All In for All Out? I honestly don't know how they're going to build up the second pay-per-view 1 week later.
Well, we already know one match that's going to happen. I feel like the main event for All Out is going to be CM Punk versus MJF.
Most likely.
Oh, that they've already kept teasing it for a long time.
But it's just
as far as the rest of the stuff, I feel like it's just going to be we'll announce all this stuff a week after. Then next week is
because they've got literally one Rampage, one Collision, one Dynamite to announce a whole pay-per-view of matches, basically.
Unless they started building stuff at All In.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I doubt it.
So I don't know. I'm watching it all regardless. So the entire Mogul Embassy make their way out to the ring. Prince Nana ran down the crowd and whatnot before Swerve took the mic. Fox and Nana, he said Fox and Nana went to the Buddy Wayne Academy in his hometown of Seattle, and they did what they had to do. Take out Nick Wayne. They really didn't take him out because he's wrestling next week. Anyways, Fox immediately called out Darby Allin, and this crowd was dead. Dead. Except for Swerve said, whose house is it? And they said, Swerve's house. Then Darby comes out, and there's barely a reaction when Darby comes out. I'm like, wow, you know the segment is dead when Darby doesn't get a reaction. Darby comes out.
The only thing I really liked about this segment was Prince Nana doing his dance to Swerve's.
Oh, and he's in the aisle, the whole time in the aisle. Yeah, walking down the aisle. I'm like, he looks like a goob, but he's supposed to, so we'll give it to him. He's doing what he's supposed to look like a nerd or whatever you want to call it. A goob, a geek. So Darby comes out and says, hey, how about we tell the real story here? I tried calling you. You never answered. I still respect you, and I still, appreciate everything you did for me, but that's not the whole story which you tried telling. Allin said he tried to help Fox. Fox really needed to help himself at that time. Said Fox got to AEW by himself, but is upset that Allin didn't put in a good word for him and get him here sooner. Instead, he helped Nick Wayne. While Fox might have some new friends, Allin said, I've always got friends as well. The lights go off, and they stay off, and they stay off, and they stay off. And then you hear Tony Schiavone going, is it? Can it be? Really? Are we getting? Lights come back on. It's Sting! Sting's there with the baseball bat, and he's beating down everybody in the Mogul Embassy. And then at one point, he takes the bat and he puts it on the chin of Swerve. He then points up at the sign that says All In, and I think this is the match we're going to get. I could be wrong. I think it's going to be Swerve, AR Fox, and Brian Cage against Darby, Sting, and Nick Wayne. I think that's the All In match.
Probably.
But I thought I saw something that made it seem like it might be just Sting and Darby against Fox and Strickland, no Nick Wayne. So I'm not sure, because I thought I saw someone put something on Twitter, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me double check on that.
I mean, if it's going to be a regular tag match, not a six-man, I think it should be Darby and Nick Wayne. Just have Sting.
Here it is.
With the baseball bat.
So I didn't see this on
Gates of Agony.
I must have missed this on television. I found it right here. Let me pull this up on the screen. So this is from the AEW Twitter account. At All In London, in a coffin match, well, that's random. It's Darby and Sting against Swerve and Fox. So that's the actual match. I would have liked the six-man better, because then you get Nick Wayne involved. And the whole thing that Darby tried saying was, you're jealous I helped Nick and not you. But why is Nick not involved here? We know next week it's going to be Darby and Nick Wayne against the Gates of Agony.
Unless they're saving something big at All Out for Nick Wayne, but still, why wouldn't you do this at All In?
I wouldn't be against putting Nick Wayne in a big match on the pre-show. Like give him a like the last match of the pre-show, the 0 hour, like a real big highlight match there. I think that'd be cool for him. But yeah, the match is official then. I also like that they're doing this. AEW's doing these. Pull this up on the screen. As an homage back to the original All In, whenever they would announce a new talent for the show, there'd be graphics just like this. So I like this a lot. They're doing this as an homage to the original All In.
Oh yeah, I like it too. Well, the main difference was like back then it was just like kind of like just like not like a wrestling company pay-per-view.
Right.
When it's just like you didn't know who was going to be on the show, so they'd just randomly announce who's going to be on there without announcing any matches yet.
Just randomly. Oh, Britt Baker's all in. Oh, Rey Mysterio's all in. Ooh, the Young Bucks, Kota Ibushi, they're all in, you know. So, but yeah, it's a coffin match then. I must have missed that on television. I thought I saw something on Twitter, which I must have saw that then or something. I saw someone post something on Twitter. They were like, oh, it's this tag match thing. Okay, cool. Again, wish they would have added Nick Wayne here. Then you could have got Cage as well. But whatever. Ooh, give me Brian Cage versus Nick Wayne. And Nick Wayne can just bump and feed for Brian Cage and then pick up a flash win at the end of the match or something. Just letting Brian Cage, let Brian Cage throw him around for 5 minutes and then he beats him in the end. Like Nick Wayne beats Cage.
I mean, Brian Cage wouldn't be a bad veteran for Nick Wayne to work with.
Not at all. As we move forward, we're going to our main event of the night. The AEW Women's World title on the line is Hikaru Shida defending against Anna Jay. And just because the JAS have broken up, it doesn't mean that some of these people are still not friends. Because Matt Menard and Angelo Parker did come down with Anna Jay during the match. So Excalibur mentioned how Shida won the belt during the pandemic, and Anna Jay debuted in AEW at the beginning of the pandemic. He said her debut was in April of 2020, right after everything went down and they had to run empty arena shows. So they also stated that Anna Jay's first opponent was Hikaru Shida. Where was I? My notes just froze. Let me refresh this really quickly. Give me 1 second to refresh this. There was a jumping knee that staggered Anna Jay early. Followed this up with 10 corner punches. Jay then wiggled free and was shoved over the top rope to the outside where Menard and Parker were quickly talking trash. Jay then controlled the entire commercial break, but Shida fired back with a running elbow right when they returned. Anna Jay then rolled to the apron, and Shida tried to suplex her back in, but Jay hit a spin kick instead. Both ladies then fought on the apron, but Shida hit a pump kick before pulling a chair from under the ring. Shida then tried to launch herself off the chair, but 2.0 jumped in the way. The distraction allowed Anna Jay to smash Shida face first on the steps. Back inside the ring, Jay got a 2 count before applying the Queen Slayer submission, but Shida climbed to the second rope with Jay still on her back and fell off to break the hold. Shida then hit a Falcon Arrow, but Jay kicked out. Shida then hit a Katana knee, and the ref counted 3. Despite Parker, this was a weird finish. I don't know what Angela Parker was trying to do, but he tried to do something like put her foot on the rope or put her foot, I don't know. He did something and he grabbed Anna Jay's leg. Referee still counted 1, 2, 3, and the match is just over. Commentary, they were confused by what happened, so not a good finish. I don't know what they were supposed to do, but it seems like they didn't do everything according to plan. What do you think of the match itself? I thought it was an okay match, not main event worthy, in my opinion, though.
Once I found out that this was actually the main event, I thought it was a letdown.
Oh yeah,
because now it's like, oh, you get people like waiting for this to be the main event.
Main event Shida 2 weeks in a row.
But I thought it was a little bit of a letdown for this to be the main event.
True. With that is everything that took place tonight on AEW Dynamite. As far as shows coming up, as far as AEW Rampage this Friday, Saraya will take on Sky Blue. The winner advances to the 4-way at All In for the women's title. Darby Allin will be taking on Brian Cage. Orange Cassidy defends AEW International Championship against Johnny TV. As far as Collision does go this Saturday, House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews will defend the AEW Trios Championships against CM Punk and FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. The Acclaimed will return they said the Acclaimed will return to normal tag team action. Also, speaking of tag team action, Chris Stylander and Willow Nightingale will team up to take on the team of Mercedes Martinez and Diamante. As far as next week's AEW Dynamite does go, Dr. Britt Baker will take on the Bunny. The winner advances to the women's 4-way at All In. Jim Ross will have a sit-down interview with Kenny Omega. MJF and Adam Cole, well, they're going to talk about their main event at All In. And finally, Darby Allin will team up with Nick Wayne to take on the Gates of Agony. So with that is everything. That is set for the next 3 episodes of AEW television. And they also said more things for our Dynamite will be announced on Rampage this Friday. So with that, I did forget to do the Twitch poll. So we don't have a Twitch poll, but we got the other polls. We do have the other polls. Let's refresh those really fast. Let's go here and here. As far as the Twitter poll does go, or the X poll, 46% liked the show, 30% thought it was just all right, and 20% did not like it. Looking at the YouTube community poll, a little more. 64% liked the show, 22% thought it was just all right, and 14% didn't like it. Reading some of the comments here, someone says it was all right. Person says I liked it. I like begin 2 with everyone walking out on Jericho. Person says show was all right. Nothing special outside of Cole and MJF build. And then this person said, I didn't watch. Well, I don't care if you watched it or not, because I'm not asking what you thought if you didn't see it. As far as the YouTube live poll does go, 78% liked the show, 12% thought it was just all right, and 10% did not like it. So with that, I'll say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, App Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter or X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at TheLukePetke.
So with that, guys, I'll be back live Friday for the wrestling wrap-up on Friday morning. Friday night SmackDown Friday evening. And then we'll see what happens with the weekend if I do or do not do Collision. I have some plans for this weekend, so I don't know if I'm watching Collision live or not. But with that, guys, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.